Hello and happy summer. Welcome to Rec on Record, bringing you the latest and greatest from the City of Fort Collins Senior Center and the City of Fort Collins Recreation Department. We have a wonderful show for you today, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the man of the hour, Mr. Jason Chaddock.
Just want to thank you all for being here today for our, hard to believe, 9th installment of Rec on Record already. This has been a great opportunity for us to get a lot of information out to our guests, to our citizens of the great city of Fort Collins, and to be able to talk about programming, facilities, and operations here at all of our facilities. And I'm really fired up about today's show because we're going in a couple different directions. We have our Director of Parks and Planning here with us today. We also have our golf superintendent here today with us to help us out with some knowledge about golf and what we have going on here in the city. So it's a great time for us to be able to expand our horizons, talk about senior center, and kind of couple in all of the different things. We also have some child camp stuff that's going on here, our youth camps within the city that Lisa's going to be here to talk to us about today. So great opportunity to gain an overall knowledge of the city of Fort Collins and all the great activities, programs, and facilities that we have. So definitely encourage you to watch the show, tune in online, or catch us on FCTV each month. So with that, I want to kind of get into some of the things that we have going on. We have a huge summer here in Fort Collins, and one of the things that is just so neat about it is how much we have going on just in the next couple weeks. Obviously, we have the 4th of July holiday coming up. We have a lot of great things. One of the items I want to highlight before we go too far is summer registration is still going on for some activities. While space is limited in many of these activities, you can still sign up. And then stay tuned online to our city's website, and also here at the facilities. Our fall recreator will be coming out July 18th. And this is going to be your first opportunity to get your hands on the recreator, learn about what programs and activities we have going on for the fall. So get out here, get involved, sign up for classes, and get excited about what we have going on recreationally here in the city. With that, I want to transfer now into some of the events we have going on. June and July is a huge month for us. So we have a number of activities. I really want to highlight this weekend, though. A lot of activities going on this weekend. Tomorrow, June 16th, here at the Senior Center, we have the Willie Nelson Tribute Band will be here. Ashley's got that going on for us. So it'll be a chance to come here to Senior Center, hang out, listen to some great music, and be able to get outside and enjoy what we anticipate being some great weather here in the great state of Colorado. So definitely encourage you to come out for that. But do not put all your time and energy just into that event. Really excited. I actually am going to be there on Sunday working the Father's Day 5K, June 18th. Great chance for you to get out, spend some family time, get into Old Town, get your exercise in for the morning, and then go eat with the family for the rest of the day. It's an exciting time. My son actually, I asked him last night if he was going to help out at the water table with me, and he said, wait a minute, there's a 5K? He said, I don't want to help you, I want to go run. So my son will now be running in this, and now he's talked my wife into running in it as well. So get out there with your families, have a good time, enjoy the atmosphere, and that's what we have going on this weekend. But not to be outdone, coming up in a couple weeks here at the Senior Center, we have the All-American Picnic. A great chance for you to get out, get some food, have some entertainment, and just enjoy the holiday, the 4th of July holiday with everyone, and celebrate our country and celebrate what we have going on here at the Senior Center, and have that fellowship with everybody. Again, the next day, 4th of July, we head down to Mountain Avenue, and we get ready for the 4th of July parade that the city's putting on. It's going to be an exciting time. You'll get to see many of us out there. We have many staff members participating in designing a float and getting out there and enjoying that activity. Many of us will also be working the event, so come out, say hi, line up along the streetways, and just enjoy the festivities with your friends and family. And then as we head into the middle of July, I want to highlight this now because we have so much going on. I want to get this on your schedule. As Off the Clock will be here on July 21st, performing once again for the summer concert series. So be sure to get out. Lots of great activities. Now I want to dial in on some facility items, more specific here to the Senior Center. We've had many guests come up to us over the last couple months and talk to us about parking. We know parking is always congested here in Fort Collins, anywhere you go. And one of the things that we are talking about is involving our handicap spaces. Everybody's been asking, can we get more handicap spaces? Can we do these different things? The answer is, I don't know yet. We are researching this. We are trying to see if we have the ability. We certainly have a lot of guests of our facility that are relying on these handicap parking spaces. So we're investigating our parking lot and what we can do with it, whether it's low emissions parking, handicap spaces, or anything else in our parking lot. We are investigating to see what we can do to try to make better accommodations for our guests that are coming in, while also sticking to laws and regulations behind parking lot safety, and also parking lot items with where you can have spaces, how many spaces you can have based on your building capacities. So we're definitely working on it. We're excited about what the future holds there and how we can make some adjustments here with the city. As far as our patio outside, we've been asked about the back patio as well. We encourage everybody to go out and enjoy the patio, have a cup of coffee or a bagel out there, and enjoy card games with your friends. We just ask, we have a lot of guests that sit out in the lobby area. We just ask that you guys knock on the door. The guests will let you in, or our volunteer working the front desk can let you back in if you do want to go out and enjoy the patio. So we definitely encourage that. Another question that has been posed to us quite often here is in regards to the weight room. We do have a supervisor that is sitting up in the weight room for some hours during the course of each week. And this person is up there, supply some cleanup opportunities, but also to try to provide a little bit of education on the machines. So what we encourage you to do is check with the front desk to find out the hours of supervision each week. So if you do have questions or want to learn more about a particular machine, that weight room supervisor will be upstairs for you, and you can learn a little bit more. And then the last thing I want to touch base on, as far as some of the facility items, there was one that was brought up to us a couple days ago, and we are actually going to have kind of an open forum session here at the Senior Center. It's going to be on June 29th, talking about some of the questions and confusions about the topic that was brought up about the Senior Center being leased. So we have talked with our financial chief officer, and he is going to come in and join us. We don't have the exact time yet. I will produce that time for you. We're anticipating somewhere around the 3:30, 4 o'clock hour on June 29th here at the Senior Center. They'll be able to provide us more information and give us some more facts behind what's truly going on prior to the next city council meeting on that. So kind of transcending now into some activities. We talked about a lot of events. Want to let you know we do have activities going on here as well. Non-stop activities, and Ashley seems to be behind half of them. So we have coming up on June 20th, so that's next week, we have Active Minds talking about the Vikings. So we highly encourage you to register for this program, come in, join us, have a great time. Then a couple days later on June 22nd, we have celebrations. This is a chance for us to get together, celebrate our members, and have Ashley, what kind of cake do we have coming in?
We have chocolate and vanilla.
Uh-oh, chocolate. And do we have ice cream too?
No ice cream.
Oh, no ice cream, bummer. So we have cake here. Come in, learn about the facilities, the programs, spend some time with the members of the facility, and just enjoy the activities for that particular day. And then lastly, activity-wise, I want to highlight Friends of the Senior Center is joining us on June 29th at 4 p.m. outside on the patio. They'll be here from 4 to 6. Talking about some activities, getting people fired up about supporting the Senior Center, and going into kind of what can we do as Friends of the Senior Center to help support the Senior Center mission. And they're looking at some opportunities to do some fundraising as well. So I highly encourage you to get involved in that. That'll be June 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. Now the last part I want to touch base on with the Senior Center is some of our volunteer opportunities. We have so many great things that are going on, and we have Betsy here with us, who's our volunteer coordinator. And Betsy would love to get more of you involved in the Senior Center and helping out in activities, whether it's an event, activity, driving. One of the highlights I want to touch base on now is Trips and Travel could use some extra drivers. We're looking for some more volunteers to drive on some of these trips. It's a great chance for you to get out and see what some of the different activities are that you might be interested in, and you get to drive for them. So it's just neat to get out, experience Fort Collins, experience the state of Colorado, and get involved with your local recreation center. Another thing, and this is with Ashley, is our Prairie Sage Dance. Ashley is excited about getting more people volunteering with this program. The dance is an exciting time for everyone to come in and enjoy music, enjoy dancing, and talk with each other and get to learn about one another and build some new friendships. And certainly we look for volunteers to get involved in that. And then also, And I believe it's as we head into the All-American Picnic. I could be wrong on this, but
Nope,
we have
you're
the
right.
pie cooking contest. So we encourage everyone to get involved in that. I know I like pie more than I like cake, so I'll be there. So definitely encourage you guys to get active in that. It's an opportunity for you to show off some cooking skills and get involved and just have a creative time together. Last subject I want to talk about, and you guys have been hearing me bring this up. This is away from the Senior Center now. Been talking about it for months, is Clubtika. I'm really excited about Clubtika. We reopened it last month. It's going. We have programs. We have rentals. We have weddings. We have receptions going on there. Great time for us. And right now, they're putting the final touches on a new deck that's being built out the back of Clubtika, which will overlook City Park Pool and the lake out there. Awesome. It's exciting. We have brand new renovated areas of this facility. It's a great time for you to get out there, check things out, get involved with what's going on. If you're interested in a rental in the future, get a hold of our rental office. Great time for us. The views are outstanding. At the next Rec on Record that we do, I'll post a final picture of the deck because it's not done yet. We anticipate it getting done, if not this week, early next week. Really excited about this. Highly encourage you guys to get involved. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ashley, and she'll kick us off for the rest of the program.
Thank you so much, Jason. All right, I'm really excited to say that our staff highlight today is a dear friend as well. We're going to bring up Lisa Freeman, and she's a recreation coordinator with us. Everybody, please give her a warm welcome.
My name is Lisa Freeman, and I am a recreation coordinator for the City of Fort Collins Recreation Department, and my area is child development. So I get to plan all the fun, adorable activities for kids 11 and under. I do have a colleague, Tyler, who also, we have a little overlap in our programs as well, and he kind of takes over where I leave off, so I do programs from kids about 0 to 11. There's my picture up there. I moved to Fort Collins in 1994, and I got involved with recreation in 1994 because I opened up my newspaper, and inside of my newspaper was a recreator. And I read through the recreator, and I was so impressed with all the kids' programming that was in there that I found out who the youth coordinator, Susie Danford at the time, and I wrote proposals for 2 different classes. She accepted them, and I was teaching probably within 2 weeks. So I've been around for a long time. I've taught a lot of the classes. As an instructor, came up with the ideas for the classes as an instructor, and now I oversee the instructors now. So there you go. Since it's summer, I thought the first thing, we have so many awesome programs, but since it's summer, I thought the first thing I should talk about is some of our day camps that we have going on in the summer. We have a wide variety and different experiences. I have some of them listed up there. I would just like to kind of point out the newest one this year is called the Mini Imagination Camp, and it's kind of like a pre-camp program for kids that are 3 and 4 years old, so they're teeny tinies. They come for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, and they get to kind of get the idea of what a camp might feel like. And then on from the mini camp, we go to the older kids. They come in the afternoon. They are 4 to 7. So they get to come from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, so their experience is a little bit longer. And then we have our more traditional camps, Kids on the Go, Summer Adventures. Another one new this year is called our Chess Mates. It's 1 week only, but it's actually a chess club, so that's pretty exciting. And one I didn't put up there that I wanted to point out is a different alternative for parents. We have a series of 1 day only camps. There's a lot of parents at home that want their kids to have a camp experience but don't necessarily feel like they need to put them in camp for a week. So we have options at the Foothills Activity Center where they can have a camp-like experience for 1 day. Early learning. We have so many different classes and programs for kids that are 6 and under. I know when my kids were younger, we didn't really have all of this kind of different things for the kids to do. So I'm really excited to be part of that and kind of be able to brainstorm and bring some different experiences for our youngest recreators. That picture that you're looking at right there cracks me up. We have a little science class called I Want to Be a Scientist. And the kids come in, it's a one-day-only class, and they learn about different kind of sciences. This particular class is called vet medicine, and so the kids kind of learn about what a veterinarian would do. Is that adorable? So cute. So we have a number of different traditional preschool type classes. We have lots of arts and crafts from as young as 15 months old all the way up through our 11-year-olds. We have a lot of parent and child classes. Those have been pretty popular now. We have our first playgroup class for littlest ones, 2-year-olds by themselves, but we also have been starting to do some programming for kids younger than 2 with their parents, and those have been pretty popular, as well as we have our drop-in programs at both the Northside Aslan Community Center and at the Foothills, and we have big bounce castles and scooters and balls, and it's a drop-in program on designated days from 10 to noon, and parents and their children drop in. It's $2.50 for kids, parents are free, and it's a great opportunity for parents to meet other parents and kids to meet other kids, especially in the winter when there's not a lot of outside play going on. We have a lot of special interest classes. We do some really STEM programming. For those of you that aren't familiar with that term, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and we start the kids out young. The picture that you're looking at right now is a little program that we call Preschool Tools, and we help the kids learn how to safely use real tools. So I have a lot of little toolboxes and real hammers and real nails, and it's a pretty interesting little class. They take to it. We have great big pieces of wood, and after we practice hammering with styrofoam and golf tees, then we move on to the real wood and real nails, and they have so much fun with that. So we have that. We have programs we do STEM programming with preschoolers and their parents, 3 to 5 years old, and that way we're able to do some stuff that's a little bit more complicated, talk about how to build bridges and do experiments with bridges, airplanes. I kind of just drew a blank right there, but it's really fun. I wanted to kind of talk about the Lego classes too. We do this really fun Lego class. It's called Lego Club. It's for older kids after school, probably 6 to 11 years old, and I have very large tubs like this big filled with Legos. And the kids come in, and it's just a program where they can come in and just do freestyle Legos with each other. And I've had the opportunity to go in there and kind of lead the class, and has the coolest energy of any class that I've ever been in. All the kids that, of course, sign up for Legos are really into Legos. And if you have anyone in your life that's into Legos, you know how into Legos Lego kids are. And so they just build these vast Lego creations, and they interact with each other and talk and give advice, and then we're able to save their creations from week to week so they can build on. So it is really, really super fun. We have a lot of different art classes. Storybook theater is like a little drama class for kids. This summer we have a fairy door class where the kids come and they get to create a little fairy door that they can put in their gardens. Cupcakes and Canvas is actually a painting class, and the kids come for extended period of time, have a cupcake, and paint. So, and then lastly, Hogwarts Halloween, my favorite. I have a special event in October called Hogwarts Halloween, and we close down the Northside Aslan Community Center, and we turn it into all of our version of Hogwarts. And so we have a lot of different community partners that help us create Hogwarts. For example, CSU's chemistry outreach program comes dressed as wizards and teaches our potions classes, and they're actually doing real science experiments that have a lot of fuzzy and And then we have a couple of people in the community that come. We have one gentleman that comes dressed up as Snape. Those of you who are familiar with Hogwarts or Harry Potter, he's kind of the mean teacher, and he walks around in character all night and kind of thrills and scares the kids at the same time. We also have one of the gyms set up for Quidditch, and the kids play Quidditch all night, and just all sorts of other Harry Potter inspired things. Last year we had over 600 people, so it's really starting to catch on, and it's really super fun. So Jamie's giving me the sign. Does anyone have any questions or?
I think that was awesome.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you so much, Lisa.
Thanks.
Oh, it's so fun to learn about kids' activities. Anyways, okay, so up next, we're going to bring Jason back up, and we're going to bring a special guest, Doug Perry. He is a PGA golf professional at City Park 9. So everybody please give him a warm welcome.
Thanks for joining us today. So one thing I want to mention before we get too far into this, people out there might have a lot of questions about golf and some of the different things. We are online right now, so if you're watching us online, feel free to send those questions in and we can try to get to those. We do have some experts in the media business watching those lines right now to see if anything's hot on the fire for some questions for us, so feel free to send those in. Doug, appreciate you joining us today. Great opportunity for us to learn more. So kind of to start, walk us through, what do you do for the city of Fort Collins? What is your role here?
Well, I'm a contracted PGA golf professional, and I manage the golf course, City Park 9 golf course, not the maintenance part of it. City employees manage that. We have a golf course superintendent who does that.
Okay.
So my job is really to run the programs that we have through City Park 9, and obviously register golfers and keep the typical golf course revenue stream going for the city. Mm-hmm. We have an awful lot of different leagues that go on, so we manage the leagues as well. So there's just a lot of activity going on during the summer. But basically, I manage the golf course, the retail golf shop, mm-hmm. and the day-to-day operation of that.
Okay, very good. Sounds like a lot of work to do.
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of hours. Yeah. It's open at 5:30 and close when it's dark.
Wow, that's impressive.
So it's a long day every day.
Wow. So with that, and this is a big question here, is how did you go about becoming a PGA professional?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have a father who played golf, and he introduced me to the game. And I started when I was 10 years old, and then, of course, like a lot of kids that love golf, I went through middle school, high school, and college playing golf. And by the time I was in high school, I already knew I was going to be a golf pro somehow. Now, every kid, wants to be the PGA Tour player and play for a living.
Right, absolutely.
But we don't all have those skills. So if we don't have those skills, we end up being golf professionals, which is the difference. The professional golfers play for a living. Golf professionals work for a living. And
Absolutely.
so, but I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And when I got out of college, I had my first opportunity to be in the business, and I took it. And I went to North Carolina for 25 years and worked at a club there. Got my PGA membership very early in my career. Mm-hmm. So, which is a 4-year apprenticeship. A lot of people don't know, but it's almost like going to graduate school, I guess, after college. Took me 4 years to get my PGA membership, and I've been a PGA member now for 38 years. Wow. So it's been my whole life. I've been a golf pro for 44 years.
Wow, that's been my whole life too. That's awesome.
Well, so, yeah. And I never get tired of it. Every day's different. Every day you go to work, something different's going to happen. Uh-huh. Some days I'm outside, some days I'm inside. Teaching, running a tournament, doing all different kinds of things. So it's not a 9 to 5, automatic type of job. So, and it's exciting.
So I'm going to have to go off topic for a minute because you've brought up so many things that I'm curious about. You've done a lot of tournaments. Can you tell us about maybe one of the coolest tournaments that you've had the opportunity to be a part of?
Well, I've been fortunate in, of course, every pro that starts out, likes to play competitively, and I was fortunate to have a good run for a while in my career where I played well, and I was fortunate enough in 2004 to qualify for the Senior U.S. Open the first year I was eligible, which is one of the majors for what we call the Champions Tour now, which is the 50 and older guys that you see on TV. And that was at Belle Reve Country Club in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So that was certainly the highlight of my career at the time. And then about 5 years later, I qualified for the Senior PGA Championship, which is the second of their major championships. And that happened to be in Colorado at the time.
Okay.
So I went down to Parker at the Colorado Golf Club and played in that. And it was a great experience. I mean, sometimes you go your whole career and you never play in a major.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I've been fortunate to qualify for two of them. So those were certainly the highlights of my career.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm new to learning about all this golf aspect we have here. We have a lot going on. We have 3 golf courses, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the amenities, kind of features, what's going on at these courses?
Well, let's start with City Park 9. It's the
Okay.
oldest course in town. It was built in 1939, opened in 1940, and it was a Works Project Administration golf course. It was built by that money. It's amazing how little money it cost to build that golf course. I mean, I've heard numbers that were under $50,000 to build the entire 9-hole
Wow.
course, which today one golf green would cost you $50,000.
Wow.
But City Park 9 is an old style course. It's what we call a parkland course. A lot of big mature trees. There's not a lot of water on it, but it's a very easy golf course to walk. Therefore, we get an awful lot of seniors that play there that enjoy it all the time. Then we go over to the next course, which would have been Collindale.
Okay.
Now, Collindale was built and opened in 1971, and it is the top course in the city for competition, I would say. It is the most difficult course of the 3. Some of the better players like to play there a lot. Each year it hosts the local qualifying for the United States Open, which starts today.
Oh,
The U.S. Open.
ironic.
Obviously, you
We
don't
planned
follow
it this
golf that
way.
well, do you, Jason? But the U.S. Open started today in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And so local qualifiers that went through Collindale that made it through that qualifier then move on to the sectional qualifying. And at that point, there's only 2 spots at each sectional qualifying usually. And if they make it through that one, they're playing in Wisconsin today.
Wow.
And that would obviously be the highlight of their career. So Collindale is the top course for competitive golfers. Then you move over to Southridge, which is south on LeMay, across from Fossil Creek Park.
Okay.
Now, Southridge opened in around 1984, I think. And it's a very interesting golf course, 9 holes. It's relatively flat, 9 holes. It's got a lot of hills, a lot of great views. It's a very easy golf course to play. A lot of couples enjoy playing there. A lot of families play there. It probably gets the most play of all 3 courses during the year. They're all different. They're all unique in their own way. They all give you a different look and a different challenge, I would say. So, and I'm at City Park 9, and we get the majority of our rounds are 9-hole rounds because it's a 9-hole course. But it can be played as an 18-hole course, variety of tee locations. You can play 9 holes from one location, and then you move on to the next location and play the second 9 from a different location, which creates 2 different courses, really.
Sure. Clearly, we know I'm new to this, and kind of looking at it, how would I get involved? Where would I start? What would I do to get involved in golf?
Well, the first thing that you should do if you're interested in golf is contact a PGA golf professional at any particular golf course. Obviously, in town here, you could go to any one. Now, each one will have programs for people getting into golf, beginners. One of the programs that's sanctioned and promoted by the PGA of America is called Get Golf Ready. And that's for people just like Jason saying, hey, I don't know anything about golf. I want to get into the game. So you contact a PGA professional. Now, one of the best we've got in town that runs that program is Vince Belk over at Collindale, at the Collindale Golf Academy. He's got Get Golf Ready programs going all the time because they have a much bigger facility to be able to do that. But it introduces you to the game, and it's usually like 5 lessons for $99. So it's a very inexpensive way to get involved.
That's really good.
They provide the equipment. They usually have specific times, and hopefully you can meet that, that schedule. But after 5 lessons of Get Golf Ready, you're hopefully hooked on the game like we have been.
Sure.
And then you go from there. And then it's a matter of, how can I get some clubs that aren't terribly expensive starting out? And then you just go into either group lessons to extend that, or, if you're a person that likes one-on-one type of interaction, you sign up for some private lessons. So there's a lot of different ways
Sure.
to do it.
Sure. So my director, Bob Adams, is sitting over here in the corner, and he's a big golfer. So,
Yes, I know.
So maybe I can get some lessons and I can go out and beat him in some golf.
Well, you're going to have to work a little bit to beat Bob. He's been playing a long time.
Sure has.
But that's the way to start.
Yeah, sure has. Great information. Kind of the last thing for us here is, can you tell us a little bit about the Senior Golf Club?
Well, every one of the 3 golf courses, and I'll speak specifically about City Park 9, we have a senior league that plays on Tuesday morning. Even though we have a lot of other seniors that play many different times, the senior league on Tuesday is our second biggest league of the week. When I got there, we had about 8 to 10 people that were playing regularly, which was kind of pretty low. And now we have about 80.
Wow.
And so we've built it up to a number that's big enough that we have to ask all the parks and people to move their cars out of the parking lot on that morning. We do
Wow.
not have, you talked about parking earlier, we don't have enough parking on Tuesday mornings for our golfers. So it's open to anybody, male or female, over 50.
Okay.
So we have a mix of men and women that play. I would say it's competitive yet very friendly. It's not
Sure.
intensive competition. It's just a lot of fun. They play starting in April, and it goes all the way until it gets too cold to play. So they'll go on into October, and it'll dwindle down a little bit, but we have a very nice group of anywhere from 64 to 72 that will show up every Tuesday to play.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't cost a lot, and it's an easy walking course, so an awful lot of seniors enjoy that.
Very good. Well, that concludes the questions I have for you, but I'm going to ask you to stay up here with us. Definitely appreciate you being here.
Sure.
You have shared a wealth of knowledge with us and taught me personally about golf and what we
Good.
have here in the
Well,
city.
thank you.
At this point, Ashley, I'm going to turn it back over to you for our
All right.
next
Thank
next
you,
guest.
Doug. That was a lot of good information.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Well, we are very honored to have our next guest come up here. This is going to be the Director of Park Planning here in Fort Collins. Everyone, please welcome Curt Friesen.
Awesome, Curt. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. And now since we're all educated on golf, let's learn about the parks. Sure. And what we have going on there. So Curt, to get us started, how did you come to be the Director of Parks Planning here for the city of Fort Collins?
Well, I'm trained as a landscape architect, so I graduated from CSU, and after I went to school at CSU, spent about 20 years in the private sector as a design consultant, and I worked in Denver and Fort Collins. Just had an opportunity to work on a variety of projects, really large-scale kind of urban center design projects, all the way down to very small-scale, courtyards or garden spaces. And I had the opportunity to travel. Worked a lot in the Western United States. So, my clients were in California, in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and then also worked internationally a little bit. Done projects in the Middle East, in Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, and Qatar. And so, just had an opportunity to travel and see a lot. And through those experiences, I learned what I really enjoyed. And a lot of that was working with municipalities, particularly in the design of public spaces, whether that's a street or a park or a downtown square. Those are the things that I enjoyed. So when the opportunity came to work here at the city, I jumped on it because it was an opportunity for me to do what I love, which is the design of public spaces like parks, and to do it in the city that I live in. And as a consultant, I hadn't had the opportunity to do that. Most of my time had been spent traveling and working with other places. So thrilled to be here and enjoying the opportunity to craft and design and help make Fort Collins even better than it is.
Absolutely. So are you originally from Colorado?
No, I'm not. I moved here to go to school at CSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Just curious, since you've done so many projects in multiple states and countries, what is just a project that stands out to you as well? This was one of the neatest ones I did, something we might even be aware of?
You know,
Non-Fort Collins related, though.
Okay. Sure, there are many that I enjoyed, but there's one that sticks out. Got the opportunity to work on a project in Tucson, Arizona, and it was just the development of kind of a community park and really a central gathering area that was built on some of the heritage of the city. It's located right at the base of A Mountain, for those of you who are familiar with Tucson, and it was based on the origin of the city. The missions, Mission Gardens were part of it, reconstructing that. Had kind of a development component to it as well, some new housing and museums. And so we were part of the entire master planning effort for how that project could come together, as well as design of those public spaces. But I love just the collaboration. I got to reach out to a lot of the Native American groups, some of the neighborhood groups, and there was just a diversity of people that were involved. It was a great design team. We had probably 10 different consultants that were part of that design team for that
That's a lot.
project. And I just enjoy the collaboration and the challenge of it, bringing all those things together. So that's one that just kind of sticks out in my mind.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Sounds like a great experience. So walk us through here in Fort Collins. What does a typical day look like for a parks planner?
Well, I guess I'd say we don't have one. We don't have a typical day. I'm sure that's many people say that about their job. But our projects often extend many years. Sometimes 10 plus years to get a project done. And our park planners are involved at the very beginning, and they see it through all the way to the end. So, for example, at the very beginning, we're working with landowners and developers to acquire property. And sometimes that means coordinating with the developer early on where a park or trail might be located, what proper acquisitions are needed, where the park might be located within a particular development. Then we'll turn to water. As you know, parks need water, and we try as much as possible to irrigate our parks with raw water.
Okay.
So that means that we need to develop a method to deliver that raw water to the park. And there's a network of irrigation canals that run through Fort Collins, and our challenge is how do we get that water to the park? So we start planning that. Sometimes it involves purchase of water shares and other things. Once we feel really good about that, we'll start in the design process. And that's reaching out to the citizens and talking about what they'd like to see in the park, what sort of amenities are appropriate. We're often reaching out to boards and commissions, updating them, talking to council about the different things that we're doing. And then once a park is under construction, our park planners are on site almost every day, actually overseeing construction, coordinating with the contractor to make sure things are done according to the design. And so our park planners are often involved in multiple projects at a time. So depending on what stage each project is in, they might be doing any of those things and might be doing them simultaneously on a variety of projects.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. I know I get our Parks and Rec board minutes every month. I know we have a ton of stuff going on right now. What's got you most excited over the next 1 to 2 year period of time?
Well, there are many things that I'm excited about. We have just some fantastic projects underway right now, and I'll share with you a few of those. First is a new community park in the city, and that's significant because we don't have very many of them. And we build one only about every 10 years.
Wow.
These are our larger parks, typically 50 to 100 acres in size. So the new that's under construction right now is called Twin Silo Park, and it is located in the southeast part of the city, over by Kechter and Ziegler. It's over by Fossil Ridge High School, excuse me. We're excited about it because it's a new kind of park. It has sort of an agricultural theme or farm theme to it. It has sort of a modern aesthetic to it. We've incorporated some farm-like experiences, like being able to plant a barn, plant a creek, plant a garden, just a variety of things that are unique to our park system. So we're excited to see that one completed. It should be open later this year.
Oh, wow.
We also have the Poudre River Whitewater Park underway.
I've heard a little bit about that one.
I think many people have. A very exciting project located in the Poudre River right at College Avenue. And it's just a great project because it's going to provide citizens a new way to interact with the Poudre River than they have previously, a way to really get into the river in a new way. It's not just for kayakers or tubers, it's also for families, and it'll provide a place for just access to the river really in a new way that we've never had before in downtown. That one's in the design phase right now. Will be under construction and opening next year as well. We've got a number of neighborhood park projects underway. We are finishing up some renovations at Avery Park, which is one of our older parks, and we've got a new shelter, a new playground, restroom renovation there. We're just getting ready to start on a new neighborhood park in the northeast part of the city. It's called Crescent Park. We recently held the groundbreaking for that. It'll be under construction soon. And then we have several really wonderful trail projects. Two of them we've partnered with City of Loveland and with Larimer County to develop two connections to the City of Loveland. So one's called the Front Range Trail, and it will connect our trail system with Loveland's, and the second is called the Longview Trail. Okay. And that will parallel Shields and also connect to the Loveland Trail system. Both of those will be under construction very soon. And then finally, we're completing a key link of the Fossil Creek Trail, the south part of the city, located just between College and Shields, just south of the Transit Center in South Fort Collins. This is a key link because it will go under the railroad, the BNSF railroad track, which is really a challenge, frankly, to get a tunnel under the railroad track. We just completed the tunnel construction. We'll be working on the trail soon, and it will provide a really important linkage between the existing Fossil Creek Trail at Cathy Fromm Prairie over to the Mason Trail. And so very excited about that one coming online.
That's a lot.
It is, and that's not all. But I'll stop there for now.
Well, definitely a lot of great things going on. Shows you how important our parks and our trail systems and our recreation is here in the city of Fort Collins. With that, let me tie in recreationally a little bit with some of what you've talked about. And, what has changed recreationally in the last handful of years that has maybe changed how you design parks now and kind of what amenities you look to have in them?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that we're always thinking about. I get a lot of calls from citizens saying, "Hey, I've got this new idea," or "This is what my group is interested in. Could you put this in a park?" And it's a broad spectrum of things. We have requests for radio-controlled airplanes. We have requests for beer gardens. We have requests for cyclocross courses. We have just a whole range of things that people have interests in including in parks. And so we have to evaluate those carefully. Our goal is to make sure that our parks are working for all the citizens. And as our park system evolves, we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our users. So the primary tool for that is our Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Okay. And that's a plan that we develop about every 10 years, and we update it every 5 or so. And we're just getting ready to update that plan here in just the next few years. So it's a great time for us to really reconsider all the different uses and all the different ways that our parks could be used that maybe haven't been used now. A great example of that is pickleball. It's something that has just come online really in the last several years, and it's just exploded. Yeah. And we are working towards finding ways to provide pickleball courts in our city. We'll be adding 4 in our new park at Twin Silo. And so it's something that's a great example of something that's really just exploded and something that we're trying to provide in our city. But our Parks and Rec Master Plan really is that blueprint. So we try to think about it holistically as a park system and incorporate those new uses through that plan.
Sure. Well, that's awesome. I know pickleball touches us a lot here. Sure. We have a lot of pickleball activity going on. Kind of the final question I want to pose to both of you before I turn the floor back over to Ashley is we've talked a lot about kind of what your roles are here in the different activities that you guys do. Now, we know you golf. Aside from golf, for both of you, recreationally, what activities do you guys participate in personally?
Well, I do some biking. I'm not a marathon biker or anything like that, but I enjoy just casual biking. And I do a lot of traveling, but other recreational, I used to play a lot of tennis, but my knee kind of gave up on me a few years ago, so golf's a little less stressful on my joints. Sure. So other than competitive golf and doing some biking, that's pretty much the extent of my recreation, I guess. I'm into music a little bit. I play some music. But,
right on.
But other than that, that's it for me. I don't know about Curt.
And so we do have a trips and travel area here within the senior center. We send people out on trips. So, and I believe that's where our trips and travel coordinator is today.
Kate just left for Ireland today. You could be in Ireland.
You could be in Ireland, but then we would miss all your information.
Right.
So we're very glad you're not.
I'd rather be here than Ireland.
So Curt, what about you?
Well, I'm a casual mountain biker. I love to get out on the trail system and just ride. I ride when I can, or I like to ride in the mornings. During the summer, it's a great way for me, it's about staying fit, but also just getting out in nature and enjoy that a lot. I also like to fly fish. So when I can, I like to get up to the river and do a little fly fishing. And I'm a big camper. I like to take my family up in the mountains and camp. And so those are kind of the three things I like to do.
Absolutely. Well, I like that. You plan the trail and then you ride on it.
You're right.
Can't get any better than that. So with that, Ashley, I'm going to pass the floor back over to you. Was there any
Awesome.
questions?
Awesome. We do have a few questions, actually. I would love to steal the microphone real quick from Curt, because the first one actually involves Lisa. It says, I am a huge Harry Potter fan, but I don't have young kids. May I attend Hogwarts Halloween?
Yes. The Hogwarts Halloween is actually designed as a family event for kids in K through 8 and their families, their parents. For adults to be involved, we need lots of volunteers because we have a lot of magical classes that need professors to teach them. So,
Magical classes.
well, we do. And so there's a lot of opportunity for an adult that doesn't have children, and if they're a big Harry Potter fan, I would really encourage them to get a hold of me. And we probably have, between 30 and 70 volunteers to help us that night, between the decorating and prepping the materials, and then chaperones for the event themselves. So maybe not so much as a participant, but we would love to have them as a volunteer.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Ashley, I'm going to steal the floor back real quick.
Okay.
Doug's got a question for us.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I actually have a question for Curt.
There you go, Curt.
One of the things that we're challenged with as golf professionals is to create the future of golf, which are starting with the little kids. One of the things that is difficult in that realm is that there are no training grounds for kids like there are in other sports. Now, when we get through the childhood stage and the juniors and then the adults, and we've done all our other activities, one of the activities that goes on forever, almost forever, is golf, because we have people 90 years old still playing at City Park 9. There aren't many 90-year-olds playing pickleball, tennis, softball, basketball, et cetera, because of the wear and tear on your body. But one of the things that's always a challenge is to find some place where kids can train before they become the golfers that come to our golf courses. So that's what I'm going to ask you. Find me some land where we can, well, there used to be, what was the course that got bulldozed? Lincoln Greens. So a lot of people would go there, and the kids would train a little bit more there, and then they'd come to the golf courses where they were real busy. Now, Loveland has Cattail Creek. That's what we need, a smaller version of something like that in this city. If we're going to have golfers for the future to support all our golf courses, a 3-hole training ground is all that's necessary. Teach them the basics, how to behave on a golf course, the etiquette of the game and all that, and then they go on from there to become our future golfers. That's what we need, Curt.
I like it. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to add it to the list.
All right.
How's that?
Glad to hear it.
I'll promise you that. I'll
Okay.
add it to the list.
Yeah.
But, these are the kinds of things that we
That's
need
right.
to know about,
Yeah.
and we want to be accommodating for those things, certainly. So,
Glad to hear it.
great idea.
Thank you.
I might need the 3-hole course.
It's not just for kids, Training, anybody that can train, for golf can be on those places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ashley, back to you.
All right. Our next question is for Doug. If the weather seems unfavorable, how do we find out if the courses are open?
Well, that's a good question. The interesting thing about golf, and especially the city golf courses, is that unless the golf course is unplayable, it's open. Now, it can be miserable as far as the weather's concerned. It could be 25 degrees, and it could be, windy, but if there's no snow coverage on the golf course, they're open.
Wow.
So it's up to the individual how hardy they want to be and how brave they are to go out and play. But obviously, you can call any one of the golf courses to find out the conditions. Now, during the off season, when the conditions change a lot, we keep our answering machine updated and say, today is January 3rd, and the golf course is currently closed because of snow coverage. we will evaluate the course from a day-to-day basis and let you know. And that's an easy way to do it. You could also contact Dawn Worth at the City of Fort Collins. She's downtown, and she gets an update from all courses on conditions. So a lot of people will call her, but I think the best way is to call the golf course. And if it's after hours, you're going to get an answering machine telling you the conditions at that point.
Oh, great. Good information. This next one is for Curt. I want to take my grandson to the park, but I have a hard time going up and down stairs or walking too far. Which park do you recommend we visit that will be fun for him and accessible for me?
Wow, well, we have many. I think that, the majority of our parks are handicap accessible, so even if there are steps, there's probably a route that also has a ramp associated with it. So I just advise you to take a look and see if there is a ramp access. Spring Canyon Park is one of our great parks. I think it's got one of our best playgrounds in town, so I'd suggest starting there.
All right. And I have a personal question, Curt. What is your favorite park here in town? Big or small?
I would have to say Spring Canyon Park as well, simply because I live near that park, and so I frequent it often. In some ways, I feel like it's sort of my park. But it's the one that I use on a regular basis. I think one of the things that's nice about it is it's located right by the foothills, and so it has that connectivity to the foothills and a natural area there, which makes it kind of special.
It's one of my favorites as well, so thanks. All right, I think that's all the questions we have for today. I would just like everybody to thank you so much for tuning in or for being here in our live studio audience. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Curt, and thank you, Lisa. And until next time, we'll see you on FCTV, or make sure you can come here and be in a live studio audience on the third Thursday of every month. And now, see you next month.